Hello, my name is Michael Jean David. I am an internationally educated medical laboratory technologist who immigrated from the Philippines to Canada in 2011. I have always been fascinated about science and experimentation since way back when I was a kid. Even the simple turning of litmus paper from blue to red and vice versa fascinated my young mind, like it was magic. MLS, or Medical Laboratory Sciences, appeals to me because it is a very practical way to use science to help improve our lives. It is like doing those science lab experiments that we did back in school, except we get to do it in medical settings, such as in the hospitals, where we can actually get to save people's lives by doing our sciences in there. The culture, I've expected it to be different, and I've expected to adapt to it. But it was actually surprisingly much easier because it just happened to be that back in Winnipeg, where I initially moved into Canada, there's quite a lot of Filipinos there as well. So it was kind of an easier transition. The people in my workplace back when I was new were very much accommodating to different cultures, and Canada being multicultural, I would say, and this is just my own personal perspective, is very open and very friendly to different kinds of cultures. So yeah, for me, I didn't really feel that I had to give up much of my culture. My first few years in Canada, I did attend all of those workshops that the government have for newcomers. They're all free workshops, and I had quite a lot of time back then since I wasn't yet working or studying. So I attended all of those just so I can incorporate myself in the new culture, become more aware of what Canada is, and at the same time I did apply for the prior learning assessment through the Canadian Society for Medical Laboratory Sciences right away so that the process is ongoing, as it did take quite a long time in order for them to assess my credentials before I could take the certification exam. The registration process was quite tedious and also quite expensive. It took about 2 years in order for my prior learning assessment to be finished. And it was very expensive, especially for a newcomer to Canada, to pay all of those assessment fees. Even the examination was expensive. And then I would still have to pay for the licensure. Even just getting all of those requirements was very difficult. It's actually quite difficult for me to get those required documents directly from my home country of origin. I had to fly back for a month or two just to get my university to produce and to send all of those requirements directly to Canada for me. And again, that's another big time and money expense for me as a newcomer back then, alongside the lack of resources that we have, just because we're new to Canada. We don't have much work experience in Canada. We don't have enough income to support the expenses that we had to pay in order for us to get registered. Those kinds of things were difficult, alongside all the other hurdles that any other immigrant have to overcome, like culture, language barrier, and those kinds of things. There could have been more people, more MLTs registered, more internationally educated MLTs registered in Canada had it not been as big of a barrier. I would think that's just my personal perspective. Things might have changed now, but back then, our machines and our computer systems in the labs that I have been in the Philippines were much less sophisticated. We used to do a lot of manual methods, manual calculations, and manual reporting. Everything was manual, pretty much. Since the labs here in Canada are much more automated, and there's so much more advanced technology that is available in our labs here in Canada, um, I find that testing volumes are much higher. And with the advanced technologies that we have here, there are more different kinds of tests in our testing menus that are available. Again, this is all relative, and this all during that time when I was new here in Canada. So more different kinds of tests available here in Canada. Another thing that I've noticed here in the labs in Canada as well is that most labs are centralized. In the Philippines, most of the labs are, at least the ones that I've seen, are like if you work in one lab, you rotate through all of the different fields of practices. Here in Canada, small labs would be more core, and even those core labs don't have all of the fields of practices within the labs. Pretty much more advanced fields of practices are sent out to others and to other labs that are more centralized and specialized into specific fields of practices. Along with all the other hurdles that we have to face as new immigrants in Canada, if we want to be MLTs as well, if we want to be re-credentialed, the registration process, at least during my time, currently I don't think it has changed as much. It's another big obstacle to overcome, and that's the most difficult challenge that I could think of. Along with having to overcome language barriers, cultural differences. We had to kind of start from scratch, credentials wise, and that process was not easy. In terms of not only money, because it's quite expensive, it was also difficult with all the requirements that we had to submit. As soon as I got my license, I was able to find a job as an MLT right away. Finally, all that hard work of getting my license paid off. In retrospect, though, I consider those challenges as blessings, as they have helped me improve so much, not only in skills but also in perspective. I am still self-motivated to improve for an even brighter future, not just for myself, but also for everyone within my circle of influence. This interview, for example, is a great medium for me to hopefully help others out simply by sharing my personal experiences. Perhaps I can encourage them to invest in themselves so that they can become more motivated to get their registration ongoing, so that they can join our workforce as internationally educated MLTs. There are some strategies and resources that I did take advantage of when I was new here in Canada. I took as many workshops as I possibly can. For example, there were those workshops that they offer to newcomers, so that they can help us integrate into the Canadian culture better. Toastmasters International is one of my most favorite organizations, where I have not only learned public speaking skills, I have developed quite a lot of my leadership skills as well, by a significant amount. I volunteer a lot, and my first volunteer opportunity as an MLT was with the Manitoba Association for Medical Laboratory Sciences, where I served as an advocate for our profession, along with a team of other enthusiastic fellow volunteers. I got to meet a lot of people from outside of our industry and also inside of our industry, and at the same time had a lot of fun. From there on, I got involved with more organizations, serving in different functions, developing myself, having fun, and contributing to our profession all at the same time. Those opportunities are, to me, the most fulfilling part of my journey as an MLT, because I get to scale up my contributions beyond just my routine work as an MLT. If I can even as I've said, if I can even influence even just a few people to get their MLT credentials acknowledged, then I am happy with the fact that there are more of us saving lives all over our labs. Maybe sometime in the future, it will be my life that they will be saving.